10. Asian Cryptids Explained. And major thanks to USMC 4503, who gave us the idea for this video. If you have an idea for a video, let us know in the comments. Number 10. The ALMAS. They're said to be a hominid species inhabiting the Caucasus and Altai Mountains of southern Mongolia and Pamir Mountains of Central Asia. Usually described as bipedal and human-like, they supposedly measure up to 6.5 feet tall and have reddish-brown fur covering their bodies. Their facial features display a pronounced brow ridge, a weak chin, and a flat nose. Cryptozoologists think the ALMAS might have resembled Neanderthals. In fact, some theories speculate they are a lost population of Neanderthals. ALMAS figure in local legends, and there have been sightings that date back to the 15th century, but there's still no hard proof of their existence. The YEREN. This is a legendary creature said to live in remote forested regions of western Hubei in western China. Witnesses say the creatures stand close to 8 feet tall, although specimens as tall as 10 feet have been reported. They're usually covered in reddish-colored hair, although some of the creatures have white hair. Speculation includes that they could be a new species of orangutan, one native to mainland Asia and is a ground-dwelling biped. They're often compared to Bigfoot due to their quiet nature and tendency to avoid people. They also sound a bit similar to the ALMAS we mentioned in this list. ISSIE. Like every country seems to have its version of Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster seems to have its counterparts around the world as well. ISSIE is a Japanese lake monster that supposedly lives in Lake Ikeda on Kyushu Island. ISSIE was reportedly photographed in 1978, and 20 other people allegedly spotted the monster that same year. It was described as black in color and having 2 humps, each measuring around 16 feet long. Video footage of the creature moving in the lake was reportedly shot in 1991. Well, we couldn't find that video, but a video of Lake Ikeda that supposedly shows ISSIE was uploaded to YouTube in 2007. Now, in that video, we could not see much except for the lake, but maybe your eyes are better. Did you know Lake Ikeda is home to some of the largest eels in the world? Think that could be an explanation, or is that just too easy? Dragons. Usually possessing reptilian or serpentine traits, dragons pop up in the myths of many cultures worldwide. The creature is known throughout China and has variations in Japan, Korea, and other Southeast Asian countries. The Chinese dragon is usually depicted as snake-like creatures with 4 legs and covered with scales. In contrast to European dragons, the Chinese variety rarely has wings, but they can fly and breathe fire. When cryptozoologists consider accounts of these creatures, they look at the land-based variety of dragon, which are often thought to be either giant lizards or living dinosaurs. Counts of flying dragons are divided into 2 categories, those with wings and those without. Those without wings are usually ignored, but winged Asian dragons are generally investigated as giant bats or pterosaurs, the prehistoric flying reptiles. Other sources say dragons started off as totems and evolved into mythical animals. Do you think there could be a connection between dragons and pterosaurs or some other creature? TSUCHINOKO. This cryptid from Japan is a snake-like creature that is described as between 30 to 80 centimeters long. Its central girth is said to be much wider than its head or tail and has fangs and venom, not unlike a viper. If that sounds scary, how about this? Some accounts claim the beast can jump nearly a meter in distance. According to legends, these creatures can speak, although they do tend to lie a lot. Maybe that has something to do with their fondness for alcohol. TSUCHINOKO are also said to occasionally swallow its own tail and then roll along like a hoop, which is similar to the hoop snake, a cryptid that shows up in the US, Canada, and Australia. Did you know the name TSUCHINOKO is used only in western Japan? In the northeastern part of the country, it's known as bachi-hibi. The BATUTUT. These cryptids are sometimes referred to as forest people and are said to inhabit the Vu Quang Nature Reserve, in addition to wilderness areas of Vietnam, Laos, and northern Borneo. Tracks of these creatures were said to have been observed in 1970. Because the Vu Quang has yielded many newly discovered mammals, there's speculation these forest people might be a lost population of Neanderthals. The creatures are described as being 6 feet tall and covered with hair ranging in color from gray to black, except for the face, hands, and knees. They are bipedal and are often sighted foraging for food. During the Vietnam War, U.S. soldiers reported seeing a 5-foot-tall creature with reddish fur during the Vietnam War, and North Vietnamese troops conducted an expedition to locate the creatures, but returned unsuccessful. Manananggal. This is definitely one of the scarier creatures on our list. From the Philippines, it's a vampire-like, blood-sucking, and man-eating monster or witch. It's usually depicted as a hideous female with the ability to sever its upper torso and sprout huge bat-like wings it uses to fly into the night in search of victims. That must be a neat trick. Basically splitting yourself into two. But what about the bottom half of the torso? It's simply left standing and is vulnerable to having salt, crushed garlic, or ash sprinkled onto it. Those substances are fatal to the creature and prevents the upper torso from reattaching itself, in which case the monster would die by sunrise.
Hello everyone, this is your guide to all things supernatural, Crypto Queen. We're doing a little collab action with Epic Wildlife. Here's our top 3 for Asian Cryptids Explained. HIBAGON. They're said to resemble a gorilla. It's described as a black creature standing around 5 feet tall. More detailed descriptions claim that it has deep, glaring eyes, is covered with brown to black, bristly hair, and emits a rotting stench. Sightings of a hibagon have been reported since the 1970s, often in the forested, mountainous area of Mount Hiba in the Hiroshima prefecture. What could it be? As mentioned, some think it might be a gorilla. Other theories suggest the creature could be some sort of wild man, or even a mutant created when the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Got any ideas about this cryptid? You know what to do. Number 2. Siberian monster mummy. Workers in a Siberian diamond mine discovered a different kind of treasure in the icy ground. The mummified remains of an alien-looking creature were found in the sediment of the diamond mine located in Udashny. The so-called mummy has baffled the miners and locals who think it might be a new species of dinosaur. But experts noting the animal's paws, long spine, and mix of canine and molar teeth think it is more likely a mammal that somehow became preserved in the sands. With temperatures that can plunge to minus 46 degrees Fahrenheit, the cold, dry climate likely helped preserve some of the creature's body. Do you think this weird, mummified thing could really be something from another world? Let us know in the comments. Number 1. The Yeti, also known as the abominable snowman. They're said to live in the Himalayas of Tibet, Nepal, and Bhutan. They're said to weigh up to 400 pounds and stand anywhere from 6 to 10 feet tall, depending on the source. While often depicted with white hair, Yeti are usually reported to be covered with long reddish-brown to black hair, except on their face and chest. They were sometimes worshipped as glacier beings, or gods of the hunt, and were depicted as ape-like creatures that carried large stone weapons. Countless sightings of the Yeti have been reported since the 19th century, none of which have been confirmed. The Tibetan blue bear could approximate a Yeti's description, and they can walk upright or on all fours. Did you know that earlier in 2016, Russian President Vladimir Putin claimed he and his entourage saw a Yeti family while visiting a remote mountainous area of Siberia? An adult male, female, and child Yeti were observed before they vanished into the trees. The creatures were allegedly covered in thick gray fur and could take far bigger steps than a human. Do you think that's just propaganda from the Russian president? Or could it be proof that the Yeti really is out there? Check out my video, 10 Shocking Mythical Discoveries, and don't forget to like and subscribe.